My name is Damien, and I thought I knew my wife. After 8 years of marriage, I believed Monica and I were simply growing apart. That's what she told me anyway. That's what our marriage counselor, Dr. Richard Hayes, confirmed in every session. Damien, you need to accept that Monica has outgrown this relationship, Dr. Hayes would say, leaning back in his leather chair. Sometimes people change. But I don't understand what changed, I'd reply, feeling lost. We were happy. We had plans. Monica would sigh dramatically. We were happy, Damien. Past tense. I need more now. More what? I'd ask. More than you can give, she'd answer coldly. The sessions went like that for months. Dr. Hayes always sided with Monica, always made me feel like the problem. I started believing it. Maybe I was inadequate. Maybe I had failed her somehow. Dr. Hayes recommends we separate, Monica announced one evening. He thinks it's healthier for both of us. He said that? I asked, stunned. He thinks you're becoming emotionally dependent, she explained. It's not healthy, Damien. I moved out the next week. Monica kept our house, a beautiful property in the suburbs that we'd bought together, that my inheritance from my grandmother had helped purchase. She kept everything, really. The furniture, the cars, the savings accounts. It's temporary, my sister Julia said, when I showed up at her door with 2 suitcases. You'll get through this. I don't even know what happened, I told her. One day we're fine, the next day she wants a divorce. Something doesn't add up, Julia said, frowning. Monica was always sweet to you. This complete personality change happened so fast. Dr. Hayes says it's normal, I replied. He says sometimes people just wake up one day and realize they want something different. That therapist gives me the creeps, Julia muttered. The way he looks at Monica in those joint sessions I attended with you, it's weird. You're imagining things, I said, but her words stuck with me. The divorce proceedings moved quickly. Monica wanted everything, the house, the cars, most of our savings. Her lawyer painted me as unstable, citing Dr. Hayes' professional opinion that I had dependency issues and emotional instability. This is insane, I told my lawyer, Sarah Chen, during one of our meetings. I'm not unstable. I'm just confused about why my marriage fell apart. Dr. Hayes' testimony is damaging, Sarah admitted. He's claiming you were possessive and controlling. That's not true, I protested. Monica and I barely fought. We had a normal marriage. Can you prove that? Sarah asked. How do I prove normalcy? I replied, frustrated. I don't have recordings of us being happy. Then we have a problem, Sarah said grimly. Because they have recordings of you supposedly being unstable during therapy sessions. That's when I knew something was very wrong. But I didn't know just how wrong until that day in the courthouse. The final divorce hearing was scheduled for April 15th. I arrived early, sitting in the courthouse waiting room, trying to calm my nerves. Sarah had told me Monica was asking for 70% of our assets. It's highway robbery, Sarah had said. But with Dr. Hayes' testimony, she might get it. I was reviewing documents when I heard Monica's voice down the hallway. She was speaking quietly, but the acoustics in the old courthouse carried sound strangely. I looked up and saw her standing near a window alcove with Dr. Hayes. Are you sure this will work? Monica was asking. Relax, Dr. Hayes replied. I've documented everything perfectly. My professional opinion is that Damien is emotionally unstable and potentially dangerous. The judge will give you everything. My blood ran cold. I pulled out my phone and started recording. But what about the house? Monica asked. His grandmother left him that money for the down payment. So what? Dr. Hayes laughed. It's marital property now. Besides, once this divorce is final, we can sell it and move to Costa Rica like we planned. I can't wait, Monica said, and then I heard kissing sounds. I sat frozen, my phone recording everything. They continued talking. "Richard, you're sure he won't figure it out?" Monica asked. "How could he?" Dr. Hayes replied smugly. "He trusted me completely. Every session, I convinced him he was the problem. I made him doubt himself. By the time we're done, he'll be lucky to walk away with 20%. "You're brilliant," Monica giggled. "I can't believe I wasted 8 years with him when I could have been with you." "It was necessary," Dr. Hayes said. "We needed time to plan this properly, to build the case against him. Every note I wrote, every session I documented, it all paints him as unstable." "And the money from the sale of the house?" Monica asked. $500,000 easily," Dr. Hayes said. "Split between us, we'll live like royalty in Costa Rica. No one will ever find us." They walked away, leaving me shaking with rage and disbelief. I stopped the recording and immediately called Sarah. "Sarah, I need you to meet me right now," I said urgently. "Don't go into that courtroom. I have something you need to hear." 20 minutes later, Sarah sat in a private conference room, listening to the recording with wide eyes. "This is conspiracy to commit fraud," she said slowly. "This is ethics violations for a licensed therapist. This is everything we need." "What do we do?" I asked. "We need more," Sarah said decisively. "This recording alone might not be enough. We need to prove they've been planning this. Do you have access to any financial records?" "Monica never changed our joint account passwords," I said. "She didn't think I'd check them." "Check them now," Sarah ordered. I pulled out my laptop and logged in. What I found made me sick. Monica had been transferring money to an account I didn't recognize. Small amounts at first, then larger sums. $50,000 total over 6 months. "That's her escape fund," Sarah said grimly. "Print everything. We also need to contact the state licensing board about Dr. Hayes. A therapist having an affair with a client's spouse and manipulating therapy sessions. He'll lose his license at minimum." "I want them both prosecuted," I said firmly. "Let's call Detective Brooks," Sarah said, pulling out her phone. "I have a contact at the police department who handles fraud cases." Detective Maria Brooks arrived within the hour. She was a no-nonsense woman in her 40s who listened to the recording twice. "This is fraud, conspiracy, and ethics violations," she said. "I'll need all the financial records. Mr. Damien, you're willing to press charges?" "Absolutely," I replied. "Good," Detective Brooks said. "Here's what we're going to do. That divorce hearing is still scheduled for today, correct?" "In 2 hours," Sarah confirmed. "Perfect," Detective Brooks smiled. "We're going to let them walk into their own trap." The courtroom was cold and formal. Monica sat with her lawyer, looking confident. Dr. Hayes sat in the gallery, ready to testify. Neither of them knew what was coming. Judge Patricia Morrison called the court to order. "We're here for the dissolution of marriage between Monica and Damien Parker. Let's begin." Monica's lawyer stood up. "Your Honor, we're requesting a 70-30 split of all marital assets in favor of my client. We have expert testimony from Dr. Richard Hayes, their marriage counselor, documenting Mr. Parker's emotional instability and controlling behavior." "I see," Judge Morrison said. "Dr. Hayes, please approach." Dr. Hayes walked to the witness stand, looking professional and confident. He was sworn in. "Dr. Hayes, you've been counseling this couple?" the judge asked. "Yes, Your Honor, for approximately 8 months," he replied smoothly. "And your professional opinion?" "Mr. Parker exhibits signs of emotional dependency and potential controlling behavior," Dr. Hayes said. "I believe Mrs. Parker needs protection from—" "Objection, Your Honor," Sarah stood up. "I'd like to submit new evidence that directly contradicts Dr. Hayes' testimony." The judge looked interested. "Approach." Sarah walked forward with Detective Brooks, who was in plain clothes, sitting in the gallery. She handed the judge my phone with headphones. "Your Honor, this is a recording made this morning, approximately 2 hours ago, in this very courthouse, Sarah explained. Judge Morrison listened, her expression growing darker by the second. When the recording finished, she removed the headphones slowly. Dr. Hayes, did you just hear yourself on this recording? The judge asked icily. Dr. Hayes had gone pale. Your Honor, I can explain. Did you or did you not tell Mrs. Parker that you had documented false information about Mr. Parker to ensure she received most of the marital assets? That's out of context, Dr. Hayes stammered. Detective Brooks, please stand, Judge Morrison said. Detective Brooks stood up and pulled out her badge. Dr. Richard Hayes, I'm Detective Maria Brooks. You're under arrest for conspiracy to commit fraud and ethics violations. The courtroom erupted. Monica jumped up. Wait, this is a mistake. Mrs. Parker, sit down, Judge Morrison ordered. Detective, I believe Mrs. Parker is also implicated in this recording?
Yes, Your Honor, Detective Brooks said. Monica Parker, you're also under arrest for fraud and conspiracy.
You can't do this, Monica shrieked. Damien, tell them this is a misunderstanding. I stood up calmly. The only misunderstanding is that you thought you'd get away with it. 2 uniformed officers entered the courtroom. Dr. Hayes was handcuffed first, then Monica. You'll pay for this, Monica screamed at me as they led her away. Everything we had! Everything we had, you tried to steal, I cut her off. I trusted you. I trusted him. You both betrayed me and tried to rob me blind. Sarah presented the financial records to the judge. Your Honor, Mrs. Parker transferred $50,000 from their joint accounts to a private account, Sarah explained. We believe this was preparation for fleeing the country. Judge Morrison reviewed the documents, shaking her head. This is one of the most egregious cases I've seen. Mr. Parker, I'm dismissing this divorce petition. You'll need to file a new one with accurate information. I'm also ordering all marital assets frozen pending criminal investigation. Mrs. Parker will not receive a penny until this is resolved. Thank you, Your Honor, I said quietly. And Mr. Parker, the judge added, I'm sorry you were subjected to this fraud. The court will ensure justice is served. 3 months later, I sat in the same courthouse with Sarah, waiting for the sentencing hearing. The trial had been swift. The recording and financial evidence were damning. How are you feeling? Sarah asked me. Nervous, I admitted. I keep thinking they'll somehow get away with it. They won't, Sarah assured me. The jury convicted them both. Now we just hear the sentences. Julia arrived and sat beside me. Big day, little brother. Thanks for being here, I said. Are you kidding? I wouldn't miss this, Julia replied. Monica and that creep therapist finally getting what they deserve. Judge Morrison entered and we all stood. Monica and Dr. Hayes were brought in wearing prison jumpsuits. Monica looked haggard. Dr. Hayes looked defeated. Monica Parker, please stand, Judge Morrison said. You've been convicted of fraud, conspiracy, and theft. You manipulated legal proceedings, attempted to steal marital assets, and showed no remorse throughout this trial. I sentence you to 5 years in state prison and full restitution of all stolen funds. Monica's face crumpled. 5 years? Please, Your Honor, I made a mistake. You made a calculated decision to defraud your husband, Judge Morrison cut her off. Sentence stands. Dr. Richard Hayes, please stand, the judge continued. You violated your professional ethics, betrayed the trust of a patient, and used your position to commit fraud. I sentence you to 7 years in state prison. Additionally, the state licensing board has permanently revoked your license to practice therapy. Dr. Hayes said nothing, just stared at the floor. After court adjourned, Sarah walked out with me and Julia. That felt good, Julia said. They both deserved every year they got. It did feel good, I agreed. But mostly, I'm just relieved it's over. Over? And you got everything back, Sarah reminded me. The house, the money, everything Monica tried to steal. Plus, she owes you $50,000 plus interest. What will you do now? Julia asked. Live my life, I said simply, without people trying to manipulate me. Sarah smiled at me. You did the right thing, Damien. You could have confronted them privately, maybe let it go for a quick divorce. Instead, you gathered evidence and let the law handle it. They would have gotten away with it otherwise, I said. They would have stolen everything and moved to Costa Rica, living off money they stole from me. Now they're living in separate prisons, Julia said with satisfaction. Later that evening, I stood in my house, the house I'd almost lost, and called my sister. How does it feel to be home? Julia asked. It feels like justice, I told her. Not revenge, justice. I got my life back, and they're both facing consequences for what they did. You fought back the right way, Julia said. I did, I replied. Then I thought about everything that had happened. Have you ever trusted someone completely, only to discover they were betraying you the whole time? What would you have done in my situation? Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.